On this channel, you've seen me do a lot of reviews on drones that are pre-built. You can buy them from the store, they will come to you. You only need to bind them to your remote controller and you're good to go, and you can start flying straight away, which is great. And I still highly recommend most beginners to give that route a go, because building a drone is not as easy as it sounds. There are a lot of tutorials nowadays that you can follow online, but still it's a little bit nerve-wracking, and I don't recommend to the beginners to go that route straight away. I think it's better to wait until you gain more confidence, until you repair your quad a few times, and then you can start trying to build your drone. But in this video, I'm going to talk about a drone that I personally built myself, because this is a topic that I don't talk about too much on this channel, and I feel like I really need to focus on that a little bit more as well. So this is a drone that I recently built myself, and I want to go a little bit more in depth about the components that I used, about the particular style of flying that this quad is able to give me. And I want to give you a little bit more information about all the cameras I use, all the accessories, what remotes I use, all the stuff that I feel could be beneficial for someone looking to upgrade to a better component when it comes to flying FPV. So hopefully this video will be interesting and informative. So starting out with the drone first, and as you can see, we are heavily into the green and silver theme. I really like the look of this drone, which is something that of course is not the most important thing when it comes to FPV, but is also a very important part of building your own quad, picking out the components and making it look the way you want it to look. So this is the Quadmula Siren F5 frame. This is one of the best freestyle frames out there currently, and I was really debating which frame to use when I wanted to build this new quad, but since I've heard so many great things about the Quadmula frames, I decided to give them a go. And I couldn't be happier with the way the frame looked when it was brand new. The packaging, the hardware, the little additional components that you get for your action camera, for your bumpers here to protect the motors on each arm. All the little details that are already included in the frame made it look and made it feel that much more premium. So this is a frame that I definitely recommend. It is a very rigid frame, and although I haven't really crashed it that many times yet, I've seen a lot of videos about it, I've seen a lot of comments about it, and people are crazy about the Quadmula Siren F5. So I'm really happy to have it here as a part of my arsenal. It is a great looking, very, very lightweight frame that is also very durable. And like I said, it's made specifically for freestyle, but of course, when it's made for freestyle, you can use it for many other things. However, freestyle is this frame's strongest suit. Now, because this is a True X frame, that means that you will have some parts of the props being visible on your FPV camera. So if you want to record with the O3 air unit, which is the VTX that I'm currently using on this frame, keep in mind that you will have at least a part of the props being visible in the shot. So make sure that is not something that is bothering you before you buy one of those frames. Personally, it doesn't bother me, as I have decided to use this frame with a GoPro on it. So I don't want to rely on the O3 air unit. This is going to be my main frame that I'll be using for cinematic flying, for freestyle, for all sorts of things. This is my go-to quad currently, so I will be using it mostly with a GoPro on top. Now, I do have a couple of basher drones that I can use in case I want to record strictly on the O3 air unit. In case I don't want to risk a GoPro, I can use another drone and just keep that only for a GoPro or for training, or you know, for those videos that I really don't need the footage from the O3 out of. So like I said, the O3 air unit is already here. I'm using a very, very interesting stack on this drone, and this is the SpeedyBee F7 V3. This is a 30 by 30 50 amp stack that is solder free. It comes with all sorts of different connectors, so if you want to keep your build clean or you don't want to solder at all, Besides soldering your motors to the ESC, you don't have to do anything else. Everything is connected by plugs, and this is the way I have connected the O3 air unit. This is the way I connected my Crossfire receiver. Pretty much everything is connected by plugs, and that makes the build very, very clean. That keeps most of the wires tidy and just very, very clean, and you don't have to deal with soldering at all, which is something that I definitely appreciate. As FPV is evolving, I think it's great to have more options available, and this stack definitely gives you a lot of options to connect all of your components, whether it's LEDs, whether it's the camera, VTX, all sorts of different components can be connected via a plug, and you don't have to solder to the stack. Now, speaking about the stack, something else which is really interesting about it is that since it's made by SpeedyBee, you might be aware that SpeedyBee has amazing support for configuring your stack from your phone, meaning that when you install their SpeedyBee app to your phone, you can fine-tune and configure all sorts of settings about the quad from your phone. So the only thing you need to do is turn on the quad by powering it up with a battery, and then connect this drone to the app itself. It will be recognized straight away, and you'll have all sorts of options to configure very, very similarly as you do on your computer. So you can use Betaflight to configure the direction of the motors, you can add new modes, you can fine-tune your rates, you can add new features, you can even flash new firmware straight from your phone, which is great if you want to fine-tune your quad when you're on the go and you don't want to bring your computer with you. You can quickly adjust all of those things from your phone, and it's happening without the need of any cables. It's just by Bluetooth. So this is a great stack to use if you want to really dial down the settings and make the quad feel perfect for your exact needs, and you want to really play with the settings and fine-tune them. I highly recommend you to check out this stack. The motors that I'm using for this build are by T-Motor, and they are 1950 kV. They're great for freestyle. They're also great for cinematic flying. They're not the most powerful motors out there, of course. However, I feel like they give me a great balance between power and efficiency. And since I'm not the biggest freestyle guy, I prefer to use them mostly for cinematic flying with a little bit of acro here and there. I think they work great for this build since it's very lightweight and it's also, like I said, very powerful. So that gives me great balance of all the things I need in a build. Like I said, I'm using Crossfire, and I've been using Crossfire for many years now. I don't plan to switch to anything else since it works that great for me. And because I use Crossfire, I also have the Crossfire antenna here on the radio, which is the Radio Master Boxer. This is a radio that I've been using for the past couple of months, and it's quickly become one of my favorite radios that I've ever used because of that smaller form factor. The portability factor is great because it's very important for me, as I tend to carry a lot of gear with me, so it's important to have a small footprint of the things that I need. So this radio is, I would say, the smaller version of the TX16S, which I've been using before. But I feel like this is more my style because it's just more comfortable to hold in your hands. It's a little bit smaller, so it doesn't take up that much space. And it's also a little bit more comfortable because it's easy to reach all of the buttons, all of the switches, everything is just a little bit easier and a little bit smoother on this radio, I feel like. So that's the reason why I have decided to use that as my main radio. And on it, I currently have the AG01 gold gimbals from Radio Master once again, because these are amazing. These are super smooth, and compared to the regular gimbals that the Boxer or the TX16S come with, it's a night and day difference. They are that much smoother, that much more precise, and it's just more comfortable to use them. It's buttery smooth to do some kind of acro maneuvers with them because they are just moving up and down very, very, very smoothly. It's a big difference compared to the original gimbals that come with all of these new radios nowadays. So I highly recommend you to check the AG01 gimbals if you are looking to have a little bit more, satisfaction out of flying your drones. It's a lot smoother and just feels more, I don't know, it feels better in your hands. For my goggles, of course, I use the DJI Goggles 2. And these are the stock goggles. I'm currently waiting for the True RC patch antennas for these goggles. It's taking a lot of time to get them because they are coming straight from Canada with the slowest delivery option available. So I'm waiting for these antennas to see whether they will massively improve my signal or not. But even with this stock antenna setup, I feel like I have that portability factor covered, and I feel that I'm not really missing out on any signal boost because the signal coming out of this setup with the O3 Air unit and the Goggles 2 is amazing. It's definitely a lot better compared to my previous setups. So even without any super long antennas or any patch antennas, I'm still enjoying the signal strength, as it's definitely very strong signal that I'm working with for most of the time. So far I haven't had any issues, like any big issues with fail safes or lack of signal when I'm flying my drones with this setup. So I'm quite happy with it. I know with the True RC patch antennas, I will lose some portability because of that. The way that these fold up, and I won't be able to do that anymore when I attach the new antennas, but I will keep you updated on that. As soon as they arrive, I will try them out and see whether they massively improve the signal or not. So for now, I'm using the stock antennas on the Goggles 2. Now, turning to the other side of the table here, where I have my cameras, you will see it's a very simple setup. I have the GoPro Hero 11 Black, and you know me, GoPro are my #1 choice when it comes to flying FPV and deciding which camera I want to use on top of my drones. They always deliver the best quality possible compared to all the other cameras that I have. Of course, I still use my other cameras, but I use them for different purposes. So when I'm going for maximum quality, I always choose the GoPro Hero 11 Black, and I use these Enduro batteries here. These are great because they last a little bit longer in cold weather and also in very hot weather. So, you know, GoPro has this battery drain issue where the battery goes flat very quickly. So these batteries are great to have, the Enduro batteries, and I do have some spare ones always available with me, so I can quickly swap and continue to fly and not worry about not having enough battery. Another big reason why I use the GoPro 11 as my main FPV camera is the 8:7 aspect ratio that the camera offers, which allows me to shoot just once and have my footage usable both for YouTube in 16:9, but also in 9:16 for Instagram, YouTube Shorts, or TikTok. This small feature is actually a game changer for content creators, and it really does make a big difference. Now, I do have this GoPro Hero 10, which I have as a backup camera in case I break one or in case I need to shoot something else. This is the camera I am mostly using as a backup. Now, I forgot to mention, of course, that luckily, since we have the same system on the front for GoPros since the 9, we have the same system on the front. And since the 9, I'm using these Polar Pro ND filters. This is the Shutter collection. And these filters are my go-to filters when it comes to installing them on a GoPro. I'm not using anything else. These are just amazing to achieve that amazing motion blur that FPV is capable of delivering when you're flying very close to an object. So the ND filters from Polar Pro are the ones that I'm always using on my cameras when I'm shooting in manual camera mode, which is 99% of the time. Now, I do have the Insta360 X3 and I'm using this camera a lot in the past couple of months, and I've been really enjoying it. Now, this is a camera that I not only use on my drone, I do that occasionally when I want to capture that front look of the drone because I feel like it's a great perspective to have. But I'm not only using it on the drone itself, I'm also using it as a BTS camera. Sometimes I want to not worry about the angles and I want to record how I set up things or how I do things. Maybe I can vlog with it here and there occasionally. So this is another camera that I tend to have with me everywhere I go when I'm trying to capture some footage for you guys, because this will give me some peace of mind knowing that I can just set it on a tripod and start recording, and then I can adjust the angles and not worry about missing a shot. So these are kind of like my essentials when it comes to FPV. Of course, I'm missing a lot of other small things like tools, batteries, all sorts of other things that I carry with me in my backpack, but you guys are familiar with those, as I've made similar videos in the past and they have not changed since then. Those are things that will not let me down because I've been using them for some time now and I've been getting great results with them, so I'm quite happy with this setup. I will list everything in the description below if you want to order one of these parts yourself. Make sure you check the description and make sure you ask me anything you want to know about this setup or any other setup in the comment section below. I would love to give you more of my feedback, more of my knowledge in case I can give you that answer. And make sure you ask me everything you want to know, because I'm also thinking about making a little bit of a series when it comes to FPV, sharing a little bit more of my knowledge, because there's a lot of things that I haven't discussed on this channel that I feel like I can share as an information with you guys to hopefully help you get better or just, you know, be more informed when it comes to things that you don't know yet. That's pretty much it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this quick little overview of the things I use when it comes to FPV. Like I said, the Quad Mula Siren F5 with the SpeedyBee V3 stack is my go-to setup right now, which is delivering great results and I couldn't be happier with it. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.